What's up, you guys? My name is Justin. Welcome to my channel, 502 Fragrance Reviews. For those of you who are stopping by, taking time out of your day to watch this video or my videos, I really appreciate it. I have a cool video today, as you can tell by the title below. This one right here, I think, is a good way to help people that are just getting into the fragrance game, and it can maybe help even more experienced people in the fragrance game, just to let you know my thought process on how I find new fragrances, how I end up find a fragrance online or wherever, and I try and I have for myself and I like it and I'm getting it. I want to give you 7 solid tips on how you can find new fragrances that you can add to your collection. So without further ado, I ain't gonna make this video too long. The last video I just recorded, I'm recording them all in bulk. That was way too long. I apologize. Let's hurry up and get right into these 7 tips. The first tip I got for you guys on finding nice fragrances, it's pretty self-explanatory, honestly. The first tip is to watch YouTube fragrance reviews, fragrance reviewers. I know that's like painfully obvious. I had to get that out the way. I mean, you can watch my videos, you can watch Ashton from GentSense, Jeremy Fragrance, Max 40, Red Lessons, Brooklyn Fragrance Lover, Demi Rawling. There's a ton of YouTubers out there. So that means you can get all different types of recommendations from all different types of reviewers. There are some fragrances that are so big that typically you'll see it covered on every reviewer's channel because it's just that good. Other channels though, you may see, or other fragrances you may see, only a few reviewers only talk about the fragrance. Maybe because only they're the only ones that maybe have tried it. I just think that it's very solid, but big disclaimer here. I don't care what reviewer you watch, myself included. I don't care who you watch. Just because I say, or whoever says a fragrance is great, does not mean you may get the same experience, okay? We all smell fragrances different. Everything is objective. There may be a fragrance that I like and recommend to you that's not available at a department store, maybe where you live at. So you're like, oh, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and blind buy it. And you may not end up liking it. You may end up being, maybe mad at me, like, that recommendation wasn't good at all. YouTube is a good way to check out and see what fragrance you should look into, but don't let that be influenced to blind buy. Still, if you're able to, sample it first. But of course, watching YouTubers is a great way to get into new fragrances. The second tip I got for you on finding nice fragrances, I mean, this one's another one that's really simple. I want to get it out the way. Go to your local department stores. Dillard's, Macy's, Sephora, Ulta. If you live in really nice places, Saks Fifth Avenue, Nordstrom's, Bergdorf Goodman, Neiman Marcus. You got fragrance outlets. There's different stores that you can go to smell it in person. So that way, technically, you ain't gotta worry about buying money or paying for samples. You can go in there and just check it right away. You can kind of feel out the sales associate if he or she actually knows what she's talking about. Then you be like, okay, maybe I can ask him or her questions on what are some nice recommendations, because nowadays, in today's time, not all sales associates, a lot of them don't know what they're talking about. So maybe you can combine a lot of these tips that I got to make it work for you. You may see a video from Ashton doing a list video, or Chaos Fragrances Dallas, and you're like, check out these fragrances. You're like, oh, okay. I'm gonna go into the department store, that's the other tip, and smell it for myself, spray it on my skin for myself, and see how I can get it on my skin, like what's like on my skin. So that's the second tip I got for you guys, is to go into your local department stores, check out different fragrances, ask what are the new fragrances that are out. That's just a nice way for you to come across new or nice, nice new fragrances. The third tip that I got for you, this may not apply to everybody, depending on your situation, but I do think it's a good one to recommend. That is to ask a friend or family member. If you have a friend or family member that's really into fragrances, they're knowledgeable, they have a collection or something like that, you could ask them, hey, what do you have in your collection that works for you? What can you show me that would be really nice for me? What kind of recommendations could you give me? There's always probably that one person in the family, or you got a friend that's just really into fragrances. Maybe you can go over their place and look through their collection. They may have some fragrances that you can't even find in department stores in your area. So I think that's a really solid tip. I'm known in my family as the cologne guy, the fragrance guy. There's not anybody in my family, anyone else that's as super big into fragrances like I am. I mean, I'm trying to pursue a career in fragrances, but I love fragrances. I am known as that go-to person to look to ask, man or woman, hey, what could you recommend for me on this or this? Like, I like these type of fragrances. What could you recommend to me? So it's another tip I can give you on finding nice fragrances, finding newer fragrances for you, and that's just to ask a friend or family member that's also really big into fragrances. The fourth tip I got for you, I think it's a solid one. Just be selective on what you pick here. That is subscription services. Some subscription services aren't worth it. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I think Scentbird's one of them. There's a few other. There are certain subscription services that's not worth it. I do think stuff like Olfactif, that's a nice subscription service. There's other, like, you probably just have to type it on Google and see which one works best for you. I think subscription services is a nice way to bring in a few fragrances. Like, of course, it's gonna be samples each month to expose you to other fragrances that you typically would not be able to get access to. I know FragranceNet just launched the subscription service. No other YouTubers cover that yet, but somebody probably will. Hopefully that's good. I hope it's not a Scentbird disaster. Even if you can't get into a subscription service, I think it's nice to buy sample packs. Olfactif, in addition to the subscription service, I'm not sponsored by this video, by the way. I just noticed Olfactif's really nice. They got different deluxe sample packs that you can buy. Who else? Lucky Scent. I was just on Lucky Scent. I just ordered some samples from Lucky Scent. They got different discovery sets or sample packs that you can do. Also, it was cool, like on Lucky Scent, they have, like, on their top picks tab, it gives you all different types of recommendations that, you know, I thought was really cool. I just discovered that this morning. So I think subscription services, the right ones to pick, you know, the good ones, or like maybe like top pick type thing on different fragrance websites is another good way to get into new fragrances. I mean, I applied that tip a few minutes ago. I went on Lucky Scent, went to their top picks, their top 5 picks for spring, the men's side, and I ordered 2 samples. So I'm gonna be trying new fragrances. So definitely, I think that's a nice tip right there. Next tip that I got for you guys, it's not as exciting, but I still think it's a good one though. You know, it's a good way to get into new fragrances. It's to read articles. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I need to read more in general, not just about fragrance stuff, just in general, I need to read more. I'll just be honest with you. But articles is a good way, whether you read it out of a magazine, whether you read it online, most likely online, just to Google, type in top fragrance, whatever, art, blah, blah, blah. I think articles is a good way to come across different things. You know, Fragrantica's always got articles, their workers, who else? There's different websites. It's just, I think that reading articles is a nice way to check out new fragrances, or like just really nice fragrances that you never maybe experienced before. There's always different types of articles out there. Top best men's cologne all time, top seasonal men's cologne. I'm saying men's because a lot of my viewers is men, but women, this applies to you as well, just women. There's different unisex ones out there. It doesn't hurt to read articles, I promise you that, because you may come across a fragrance that the way they describe, be like, man, I might like this. I might want to check this out. So that's another tip I got for you guys, is to read articles on, you know, just different fragrances, fragrance topics. The 6th one right here is very important, guys, and I think it's one that maybe you might not find an answer right away to, but maybe through time you will. The 6th tip I got for you guys is to find your likes and dislikes. There will be certain fragrance notes out there that you will really like in fragrances. There will be certain notes out there that you dislike. Typically, if you're a person like, oh, I really like vetiver in fragrances. I like vetiver. Typically, you probably won't like a lot of different vetiver fragrances that's out there. Vetiver dominant fragrances. You could go on YouTube, go on Google, type in top vetiver fragrances. You may like incense, you may like bergamot, you may like grapefruit. But also, there may be some notes that you don't like. You may not like oud. You may not like sandalwood. You may not like cardamom. I think even if you don't find the answer right away, it's okay. But as you get more into the fragrance hobby, learn to see what your preferences are. What type of notes that you like and what you don't like. And once you find notes that you like, kind of just look it up once again, combining tips together here. Maybe go on YouTube or to go on articles, whatever. Type in on Google, whatever. Top, insert whatever fragrance notes you want to put, fragrances. That will be a nice way for you to find more fragrances that you know that you're probably going to like because you like those fragrance notes. So that's my 6th tip for you. A very, very important tip to me is to find your fragrance likes and dislikes when it comes to fragrance notes. And the 7th tip, the last tip, I think this one's a very cool tip. This tip right here is what made me want to do this video, and I'm actually going to, let me just get into it. The 7th tip is to look up master perfumers creations or very, very highly touted perfumers. If there's a fragrance perfumer out there that it's just he or she's a master perfumer, or she's got a lot of, like, she's highly touted or he highly touted, odds are if you look at fragrances that's made by them, you may come across fragrances that you've never heard of talked about before, whether it's from YouTubers or just it's not in stores. For example, okay, let me give you an example to give you a better understanding. The other day, I looked up Dominique Ropion on Fragrantica. I looked up his creations because Dominique Ropion is a master perfumer. So maybe he's got some creations that I've never really heard of before. Maybe another YouTuber has covered, right? I was going down the list, and there was one fragrance that stood out to me that I'm actually planning on buying. I can't get a sample of it, I don't think. Maybe I have to blind buy it. I'm gonna see. But he got a fragrance called Kenzo On Night. I'm gonna put it up like right here or here, either or. It's a really, it looks dope, guys. It's got mango, tonka bean. It's like, I think maybe grapefruit too. It's like a tropical, like it looks good. Hardly any other YouTubers covered it before, but I have a feeling it's gonna be a nice fragrance because it's made by a master perfumer, Dominique Ropion. I'm not saying it's a guarantee. Maybe I'll like it, maybe I won't like it, but I'm leaning towards the probabilities that I will like it more. It's just, if there's certain perfumers out there that you know you're a fan of, look more into their work, look more into their creations. If you're a big fan of Alberto Morillas, look more into what fragrances he has made because you may like it. But then once again, combine different tips here. If you see a creation by him or whoever, and you're like, oh, wait a minute, these got some of the notes in here that I don't really like, you still may not like it. You see, you gotta combine different tips together. But this is my 7th and final tip that I think is pretty cool, guys, is look up master perfumers creations, stuff that they've made, or highly touted perfumers, or some of your favorite perfumers. Look and see all different fragrances that they've made, because maybe some that they've made from a bigger house that you know about, but there may be some fragrances they make for a smaller house that you've never heard about. Like that Kenzo, I've never heard about it, but I want to check it out now. I want to find new fragrances. So that's my final tip for you guys. And that's all I got for you guys today, man. I think this is a really cool video. It's more so on the educational side, and I think it's a cool idea. Let me know in the comment section below, what are some of the tips that you got for yourself personally when it comes to finding new fragrances or nice fragrances? Is it some of the ones that I've already listed before? Is some of the tips that in this video, I mean, is there some tips that I've mentioned that you want to implement yourself? Like, oh, okay, it sounds pretty cool. I can get into that, you know. Let's get going, talking in the comment section below. You know, I'll talk to you in the comment section below. And then that's all I got for you guys today, man. If you watch this video and you're not subscribed and this video interests you, you want to see more of my videos, hit the subscribe button below. Got a lot of great content planned for you guys, man. And that's all I got for you guys today. Hope you have a nice day, nice evening. Till next time.